Okay, there's this one. So if people don't think that, okay, actually, let me start with the fanatic here. I think this is an old clip, but this is where we're at with climate change in Canada. Oh no. Is it not a video? What's
I
happening?
wonder if that's heavy crude. Is that heavy crude? Wasn't that the problem is they didn't have heavy crude?
Um, well, I mean, yeah, that was the problem, but maybe they're finding solutions to that, right? I don't know. And what was the reason? Heavy crude made diesel or something like that? What was the
Made diesel, yeah.
yeah.
Good question for Marty, I suppose.
So this is one of our MPs. Or it was. I don't know how old this is. I swear I saw this a few years ago. So I mean it could be old, but this is what we're dealing with the climate change cult. The web of NGOs that are government funded to make the studies for the government so that they can keep us wrapped in this climate change bullshit.
One of the comments, I want to start off by addressing one of the comments that was made by the witnesses around climate hysterics. Hysteria, it refers to something that is wildly emotional. It comes from the Greek word womb, of the womb. It is used in ancient Greek to refer to things associated with women. And I hope you'll forgive me if I get emotional. Climate emergencies are not gender neutral. The degradation of ecosystems disproportionately impacts women and girls. And I am wildly emotional. This is the existential crisis of our time. And to hear that we're asking for high ambition is climate hysteria, that makes me wildly emotional. Absolutely. You know, when I think about my womb, you know, the 2 children that I bore from that womb and what future we are leaving them, I am wildly emotional. And it's not surprising to hear this from someone who has written articles that are pro-life. I think that we need to think about the intersection of gender and the climate crisis. And
You think we need to think about the intersection between gender and the climate crisis?
I didn't even know there was one.
What is happening?
Hope that the people around this table and the people listening will refrain from using language like climate hysteria. We are facing a climate emergency.
Oh my God, these people, Darren, we are in trouble. I mean, and she has to throw in the pro-life talking point, like, oh, so somebody's pro-life. Oh my God, boo-hoo. Warning, super cringe video of Victoria, BC MP Laurel Collins talking about climate change. Make sure you don't have any objects that can be thrown at the screen in easy reach. Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, I think she's retired. Anyways, I want to go back to if people don't think that this is going to happen. This is Thomas Massey. Where's that? Is this the thing that has the 2? Why is this not showing me the highlighted version? Oh, there it is. Oh, isn't that interesting? I ended up attaching 2 of those same reports. So this is from CBC Watcher, but also from, I'm going to show you the other one, from Ann Roll too. And this is about this Judiciary Committee thing here. Canadians owe U.S. House Representatives Jim Jordan, Thomas Massey, and other members of the House Judiciary Committee a debt of gratitude for first exposing and the eventual dismantling of Mark Carney's G-Fans climate cartel. Carney, Michael Bloomberg, and friends coerced banks and large financial institutions into colluding with his net zero climate activist plan to withholding funding to Canadian and global resource projects. Carney is mentioned 7 times in their report. It would be nice for Canadians if they released his testimony / transcript of his interview before the House Committee on April 17th, 2024, just to see his testimony on the oil and gas industry and pipelines. I'm going to show you the highlighted parts here. And this is what Ann Roll wrote about this. Carney's G-Fans is under U.S. judiciary review as of December 2024. Is this why he won't go to the US or open diplomatic discussions? The unelected PM is part of a cartel, and this isn't hyperbolic. I mean, this is really not hyperbolic. We've been talking about this for years. We knew they were going to transition to this from COVID. It's infuriating. The unelected PM is part of a cartel who target U.S. companies with coordinated pressure campaigns demanding net zero. If the company doesn't comply, they collude to fire board members and replace them with climate cartel aligned members. So here's some highlights, right? This is from the report. Sustainability Shakedown: How a climate cartel of money managers colluded to take over the board of America's largest energy company. This is just from last winter. Another weird report from the US that shows Canada in a very bad light. So this is the executive summary. From the big three asset managers to blue state public pensions to the proxy advisor duopoly, collude to pressure American businesses to commit to net zero and scale down disfavored production. Through climate coalitions, including the Glasgow Financial Alliance for Net Zero, so that's the GFANZ, the Net Zero Asset Managers Initiative series, and Climate Action 100 plus investors from coordinated pressure campaigns to target U.S. companies and demand they disclose, reduce, and enforce net zero climate commitments. When companies refuse to surrender and comply, the climate cartel colludes to fire company board members and replace them with climate cartel aligned members. So just to get a view of where's my Grok? I had a Grok set up for this. Let me check my Grok history here. Oh shit! So much for that smooth transition. Let's see here. Where's my history of Grok? History. There we go. Sorry about that. Here we go. Share this tab instead. So, and just so people are aware, right, of GFANZ, what do you think his position is in GFANZ, Darren?
President.
He's the co-founder and co-chair of the Glasgow
I knew that.
Financial Alliance for Net Zero. He established the initiative in April 2021 ahead of the the COP26 climate summit in Glasgow in partnership with the UN Race to Zero campaign and the COP26 presidency. Carney, a former governor of the Bank of England and Bank of Canada, leveraged his extensive experience in finance and climate policy to bring together over 450 financial institutions from 45 countries, collectively managing assets worth 130 trillion. And this is our unelected prime minister, with the goal of aligning their lending and investment activities with net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. He co-chairs this alongside Michael Bloomberg, with Mary Shapiro serving as vice chair. Carney has been a key figure in driving the alliance's mission to mobilize private capital for the global transition to a low-carbon economy, emphasizing science-based targets and transparent reporting. Yeah, right. His leadership roles also extend to his positions as UN Special Envoy for Climate Action and Finance and Head of Transition Investing at Brookfield, which complement his work at GFANZ. I mean, get ready, Canada. I'm telling you, get ready. Buckle up. There's going to be a war over us and our resources between Carney and the global climate cult and the U.S. I'm telling you, it's coming.
Buckle up, baby. I like it. Well, that was a good one.
Thanks.
That's it for this week.